to one last menu to explain these settings to you, and that will conclude the video. Back to our original video. This cooldown recovery right here, it says increases your cooldown recovery rate. Keep that in mind. And then also right here, when we're talking about cast rate, keep that in mind too for a second. When we're looking at this ability here, we're looking at For Honor. We're looking at the top mana cost. That top mana cost, that blue drop right there, droplet, that's what it'll always be associated with, these numbers, and that's the cost of using that skill. This 70-second interval right here for this black and white square window, this icon designates that this is actually the cooldown reduction we'd receive if we were to increase this stat, cooldown recovery. That percentage would decrease if we increased the cooldown recovery, making the ability accessible to us to use more frequently. This is overall your speed, your movement, where you see this blue running symbol of a icon and an outlay of something. Looks like it's running. Well, if I had 100% movement speed, then it would be reduced, and I'd be receiving 85% of my overall speed. So I'd only be doing 85 of my 100 initially, reducing my speed by 15%. This right here is actually the amount of time that this ability would be cast for, in terms of the amount of time it'd be in use for is 25 seconds, and essentially goes to cooldown after the 70 seconds. So these correlate, but casting rate would only apply to this menu here at the left. If you follow the cursor, please, then you'd see right here that the faster cast rate could apply to this because it is a casting ability, and increase my overall effects that I might have attributed to something that had cast rate in it. Here you'd have a physical ability, and you'd notice something there, but I'll go here because it has both of them. So we're going to go here, and we're just going to look over these last couple of options. This 15% is the chance that I have to do damage, actual physical damage to a target. If one of my abilities like Fan of Knives were to ricochet and go off and send a Fan of Blades in another direction, and it would do a portion of my damage. This 320 is just kind of like to designate that this is a projectile. In other words, that you can throw this and it would go a distance. That 320, as you see, it's here on the exploding bolos. It's also here on the shuriken throw, and it's here on the explosive kunai. When you're reading an ability, if it says passive, whatever you put into that ability will increase the stat directly without anything further having to be done other than attributing points to it. But when it comes to something else, if it says active and physical like this one does, it would mean that it was actually a physical attack then, and this wouldn't be arcane or fire or lightning, because it would say that it was physical right here. And then under active would mean that this is ability you actually have to use and to assign to a button, and then once you've pressed it, then the ability would become effective, unlike it would be for passive abilities, which need no activation. If you have something like cast rate, explosion rate right here, just to close the video off with and leave this last note of the segment for you. When you're looking at things like this, like arcane damage, if it applies, you might see affixes underneath it. For say, for example, it receives bonus damage from intelligence, arcane per point. And if you wanted to, even though you were a physical class, if you had abilities like that that would benefit from cast rates or could benefit from intelligence, then you could append a point of intelligence to it, increasing the magic skill damage that it would do. These types are arcane, so I would have to expect more arcane damage to do more damage, but don't expect skill damage and expect for it to work. You have to have skill damage and additive. You could have additive and or arcane skill damage, but if you didn't have additive, then the arcane skill damage don't apply, the cold skill damage won't apply, and so forth. In the next video, I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to take it easy. It's been a long video. I appreciate you watching thus far. I commend you. Take a break. You deserve it. And you made it this far in the video. You're almost done, and you never have to think about this again once you make it to the end. But if you are interested and you already know how these these abilities really work, this video may not be for you. But if you'd like to see how these are actually going to be applied: the deadly blow, the crushing blow, the open wounds, ignore target, the target slow target overall attack and speed movement. And if you'd like to see how additive damage is applied, so you can make use of the magical skill damages that there are. And if you'd like to see an example of what piercing damage does, or what phasing does, or if you'd like to see an example of light radius as well, tune into the next video. Thank you so much for your patience. There's one other thing we didn't mention. It's not really an attribute, more or less. This is more of like a, you know, your profession, if you will. Mining increases to 500 rating because I've been mining. So the more you mine, your rating will increase, and when you're in the open world, you'll be able to mine and harvest other nodes that you see and collect from those veins the ores and materials you need for crafting. And when you're crafting with them, the more items you craft, the higher your rating will go and make other items available to you to make. Thank you so much for tuning into the video. I do believe that this video covered everything as far as stats and attributes I can think of. If I had to mention, there's maybe, certain things that you may be thinking, I have an ability and it's got something on it that says Guardian. Well, those are things that kind of apply to Illusionist, and so you have some niche aspects of the game, for example, depending on what your archetype is. And so, for example, I'm physical, but I'm also capable of casting and using some arcane damage. But I could always respect this as you could and go and do something like cold or fire, what have you. I hope to see you in the next video. If you'd like to see a demonstration of that, I look forward to you being in the next video. And again, thank you for watching to this point. I hope that in the future you stay tuned. We're going to constantly improve the content, the quality of the videos, the overall production of videos are going to stay consistent. We're going to make accurate information